Good evening, prospective parents and students of the 9th grade class coming into Shawsheen Tech. My name is Jeff Albert. I am the Director of Student Support Services at Shawsheen, and I'm very excited to have you here with us this evening and to be able to share some information with you about our Student Support Services Department and about the types of services and supports that we offer our students. Before we get started with that, I would just like to say welcome. We're glad you're here. And it's very important to note that, deciding to come to Shawsheen Tech is a big decision. And I think that it's an exciting decision because you really are getting two educations in one. You're able to, seek out your academic education and be on a college or career pathway in your academics, and you also have the opportunity to explore vocational technical opportunities, which are really new worlds and new experiences and things that you probably have always thought about trying but have never tried before. So we have this awesome opportunity to bring you in and have you explore a multitude of shop areas and really try to discover what your interests are, and while doing that, to attend a very supportive academic program where teachers and Shawsheen staff really take a belief in a growth mindset. So I have a little presentation for you all to look at with me this evening, and we will go through it slide by slide, and at the end of this we will be able to take some questions in a chat form and answer your questions about our Student Support Services Department. Next slide, please. So please remember that this live event is intended for the parents of prospective students that are thinking about applying or have applied to Shawsheen Tech for the upcoming school year and want more information about our Student Support Services Department. The parents of students currently enrolled at Shawsheen have parent conferences scheduled for November 19th. This evening is dedicated to giving information to families who will be new to Shawsheen Tech. At Shawsheen Tech, we really like to employ a growth mindset. And what we mean by a growth mindset is that we like to create environments where exploration and trying new things and learning through trial and error is welcomed. So we take the approach that mistakes are really opportunities. Messing up or getting something wrong at first until you figure it out till you get it right. Our whole team at Shawsheen Tech is devoted to helping kids increase their confidence and help them find that I call it fire in the belly, that place where they can dig deep and not give up and keep searching for ways to find solutions and answers to problems. And you learn that through making mistakes, and we almost embrace that at Shawsheen, and we support students in their journey to sort of figure things out and see how things work. We always like to tell students that you may not be there today, you may not be there tomorrow, but you will get there someday. And when you're learning something, we always like to say you may not have it yet. And yet is like a key word for us, because yet always shows that there's a growth process in place for students. I'd like to go on to the next slide to sort of describe to you what our Student Support Services Department is comprised of. So we have a fairly large staff. The Support Student Services Department includes 12 certified special education teachers, 2 certified school psychologists, 1 speech language pathologist, 1 school adjustment counselor, 5 paraprofessionals, with myself as the director, and we have an administrative assistant. In terms of our services, we offer specialized instruction in all of the major subjects. So if you come into Shawsheen and you require specialized instruction in a certain area, that's available to you in ELA, in English, in math, science, and history. And then we offer support classes, and in those support classes, it's broken up into sort of 2 sections. We have freshman and sophomore year, junior and senior year. Freshman and sophomore year, students are enrolled in what they call an educational and organizational strategy class. The course is designed to be twofold. The first half of the course is designed to give you tools to learn how to organize, learn how to study, learn how to prioritize, and how to be prepared as a student. So you would learn things like, checking the student portal for your assignments, learning how to email a teacher, how to use some sort of organizational system. The other side of the class is used for getting help that you need in your classes, such as, you need a little help with figuring out some math problems, or you need some help learning how to write an essay, or you need help with figuring out how to do a lab in science. Our team is equipped to help you with access to your general education courses as well. Then when you flip to junior year, you're then able to have a support class that has a little bit of an adjustment to it. I don't know what just happened. Did I get kicked out?
Nope, it's me. Just give me 1 second. I'm readjusting the window, okay?
Okay.
But you can keep talking. You can keep talking. Just give me one. This is Mrs. Lesto. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Can you see that, Mr. Albert? I changed the slide.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
So we have, talking a little bit more about the previous slide, we have junior and senior year. That course is more focused on thinking about your future. So while we're supporting you in your classes and we're still helping you stay organized, we're also focused on helping you think about your life after high school, what your plans are. Are you going to be a college path, going to work, going to the military, going to a certificate program? And that course is designed to help students with their transitional needs. So if you look at Shawsheen Tech, our current makeup of students who receive support, we have this pie chart to show you. The majority of our students that come in for support have some sort of specific learning disability, which really means that they have an area in their average intelligence, their average learners, maybe above average learners, and they have a struggle in a particular area. They may have trouble with reading comprehension or math calculation or doing some writing. And we support students within those disability areas. We have, that's 42%. 11% of our kids have some sort of struggle with emotional regulation, which means that, they have a tough time managing their feelings and they need support. They need support with that. And we have our psychologists and adjustment counselors who are awesome and willing to dig in with kids and help them manage their emotional regulation. We have about 9% of our students identified on the spectrum with an autism spectrum disorder. That can be a wide range. It can be a student who requires, very, very minimal intervention and supports to a student who has behavior and communication skills that require us to really rally around them and support them. We have 25% of students with a health disability. The majority of students identified with a health disability are identified having some sort of attentional deficit disorder. We have 5% of students with some neurological disability, and then we have a very low percentage of students with a physical disability. Communication is 6%. Students who have trouble expressing themselves in language or understanding language or writing language. We have also about 2% of our students with intellectual disabilities, which mean that they process information in a slower way and they need some modifications to our approach to be able to access the curriculum and get more intensive supports. And then we have about a very, very low amount of kids with sensory needs. Sensory is usually students with vision loss, hearing impairments, and things of that nature. So that's sort of the big picture of all the areas of disability that we service. It's important to note that we're a public school. We service all the federally recognized areas of disability, just like any other public school would. That's about it for that slide. Next slide, please.
Oh, that went fast. Hold on, Miss Albert. That went really fast. I was not expecting that. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so here you'll see what a typical schedule would look like for an incoming student. And when you see the bullets on this slide, you'll see some have 5 periods a week and some have more than that. So 5 periods a week, think of it this way, 5 periods a week typically means a single period of 42 minutes. So when you see more than that, it means that the class is most likely a double block. So in English, there's 9 periods of class per week. In math, there's 9. 5 periods a week in grade 12. That's for math, right, Sheila? I just want to make sure I'm reporting that correctly.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. So when you get to senior year, you only have a 42-minute period of math. Science, it's 10 periods a week in grade 9, 5 periods a week, a single period in grade 10. And in history, you have 5 periods a week. Your support classes are a period a day, 5 periods a week for under and upperclassmen. Next slide. So these are the accessible curriculum components of our program. We have history, science, and educational and organizational strategies class. All are fully accessible via online platforms. History and science are available. Davis Realize program, which is a very scaffolded curriculum map for our courses. It's a very good program. Our support class is available through SOAR Learning, which is something we've launched this year. So SOAR Learning is an online platform that also has a very methodical scope and sequence that really follows the map of how to help you and your student be organized and how to develop good study habits and develop all the important skills that good students put into motion to be successful. That program is going well this year. Teachers and students are giving us great feedback on it, so we're going to continue with that program in our study skills model. All of these programs that we do have also have, some ability to accommodate you. So you'd have the ability to have things read out loud and other tools that can help you access the curriculum. Next slide. So we also use Microsoft Office 365, and this platform allows students to have some tools to help learning be more accessible. So, within the platform, there are different ways in which it increases your ability to tackle the curriculum presented to you at Shawsheen. So, you know, it'll have options like read aloud, text to speech, speech and grammar check, OneNote class notebook, immersive reader options, and things like that. And I think a lot of our students, depending on their learning needs, will tap into these different tools to help them be successful in class. We, you know, it's been very difficult with the pandemic, I will say. You know, we all know that students and families are having, you know, extraordinary layers of challenge in trying to, you know, have the school experience feel as normal as possible. But we are still proud to say that we are always seeking ways to partner with outside agencies, outside opportunities, to be able to really, you know, be a community partner with agencies that are there to support students. So we, our department head, Sheila Fitzgerald, who is also behind the scenes on this live event tonight, is a key member of our department, and we really appreciate her effort in terms of she had put together a partnership with Mass Rehab, which is an agency to help kids explore career pathways and the soft skills that go along with that, such as employability skills. It's a program called our the Mass Hire Pre-Ets program, and it's an after-school program where students, you know, focus on 5 core areas, and you can see on the slide: job exploration and counseling, workplace readiness, work-based learning, counseling for post-secondary education, and learning self-advocacy and peer mentoring skills. So students have to be identified and chosen to participate in this program. They are students typically identified with a learning challenge, and they sign up, and they the teachers from this program come from Mass Rehab to Shawsheen and work with our students after school. And I've seen this program in motion in a couple of different platforms, and it's a very successful program from my view. I don't recall what the other side of the slide said, so we'll wait for Jenna to get us back to that slide. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you. For some reason, my computer stopped sharing. Please hold.
Sheila, what was on? Oh, here it is. And we have, oh yeah, our co-op education program. So this is one of the largest features of vocational technical education that I think is very important and attractive to our students. When you hit junior and senior year, if you have been in your shop and you've done a certain amount of hours in your shop and you have passing grades, you have the opportunity to participate in Shawsheen's co-op education program, where you are able to go out and work during shop week in a job that's related to your shop area and be paid for your work while you're having shop week, and you're being tracked by our co-op office, which is a group of people who check in with supervisors and employers, check in with students, and make sure that they are using the skills they learned freshman and sophomore year in transferring those skills out of the school setting and into a work setting and putting those skills to practice. And Shawsheen has been known amongst the vocational schools across the state to have a very strong, well well-oiled machine in terms of its co-op program. We have a lot of community partners and a lot of success with our students out there on co-op. So, for students that are looking to come to Shawsheen during their junior and senior year, it's a very attractive option to think about getting paid to come and go out to work during your shop week. Next slide. Students who get support for a particular area of learning have the same access to Shawsheen activities as all other students. So, you as a student who gets support also has the opportunity to participate in sports, clubs, and activities. We have a wide range of sports. If you see the list there, it's quite a robust list. We have football, baseball, basketball, tennis, golf, track, lacrosse, esports, which is a gaming club, but it's considered a sport, soccer, softball, hockey, swimming, cheerleading, cross country, and volleyball. As you can see, we have an array of clubs, and I think that if there's enough interest generated by a group of students who want to start a new club, that they're very welcomed at Shawsheen, and we try to work with students to make that happen. We also have a range of activities. So we have after school extra support for students. We have MCAS tutoring. We have weight training and exercise, and we have our Skills USA program. Our Skills USA program is also another, I'll call it, it's almost a national platform for kids to showcase their vocational and employment skills, and you go through a local, local, regional, national levels of competition. And, you receive medals like in the Olympics. So, you can receive a gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal in a particular skill that you have signed up for as you participate in Skills USA. It's a great confidence booster for our kids, and it really showcases allows our kids to shine in terms of the skills they've learned while attending Shawsheen Tech. So it's definitely worth checking out. If you decide to come to Shawsheen, it's a great program. Next slide. I don't know if this is on my end or see here thank you for your patience, everybody. Having a little bit of technical difficulty tonight, but we'll just get through it. Sheila, can you still hear me?
I can. I think Mrs. Lesko's computer must have stopped sharing again. So
Sheila,
the next slide is just the question and answer part.
Is that the last slide?
It is.
So as everyone can see, this is an overview of Shawsheen Tech Student Support Services, and I know I kind of gave everybody a crash course in that, trying to give you as much information as possible. But before we go into the question and answer, we are a public school. We abide by the laws and regulations around special education as set forth by the state and federal government. Students that come in have a team developed IEP. Those IEPs are reviewed on an annual basis. Every 3 years, the IEP is reviewed for a 3-year reevaluation. And we do all of this through the mandated team process. So in terms of, how will special education services look different for you at Shawsheen? Well, because we're a vocational technical high school, there could be some services that you're typically used to getting at a middle school level that might look different at Shawsheen Tech, and we would certainly discuss this with you as we get to know your student and get to know you as students, and really talk about what your needs are and develop an individualized plan for you. So, before we do the question and answer, we just want everybody to know that we're a public school like everybody else, and we follow the regulations as set forth. I guess this is the time when you will have the opportunity to type in any questions that you have for us regarding student support services, and Sheila and my support team behind the scenes will review those questions and be able to answer them for you, or ask them to me, and I can provide an answer for you.
Looks like we're back up and running. So I think Mrs.
All right,
Lesko.
well, let's see if Mrs. Lesko can just go through the slide that we I think she just lost connection with us again.
Okay. The first question just came in, and the person wanted to know how many students are on an IEP at Shawsheen.
So we are hovering right now at about, I would say, between 385 to 390 students on IEPs.
The next question is, are all of the special ed students licensed in a content area? Or maybe they mean, are all of the special ed teachers licensed in a content area?
The good news on that answer is yes, our teachers are duly certified, so which means that they have their special education credentials and licensure to be special educators, but they also have a content area certification, whether it be in math, English, science, or history. So yes, our teachers are duly certified.
The next question is, how does the IEP process work for transitioning into school? Is there a meeting during the summer?
So we are, I am the new director to Shawsheen Tech. I've been there since this past August, and we are looking at some ways to revamp to a degree our process for bringing in freshmen to Shawsheen. The one nice part about being a community partner is that we want to continue to have strong relationships with our 5 sending districts, and they have been, I haven't worked with them yet, but I heard that they have been for the most part very in the trenches with us in terms of wanting to make a smooth transition for students. So typically what will happen is Shawsheen will be invited to the district for a day or a set of days to have informational meetings regarding students on IEPs who have been accepted. And that's the time when the IEP is collected and looked at. And sometimes we have the IEP beforehand, which is great, and we can go to that meeting. Questions can be answered, the services can be looked at and discussed, and sometimes it happens at a team meeting that the district is holding, and they're really developing an IEP. Let's just say it's Tewksbury, and Tewksbury is developing an IEP for Tewksbury High School, but the student also got accepted to Shawsheen, so they're kind enough to invite us to their meeting sometimes, and we can then provide input on how that student would transition with those services to Shawsheen Tech. We did have a situation this summer where we did have team meetings during the summer. My team is in the process of looking at all that because we want to make sure it's as smooth as possible for students and really reduces anxiety. But we also want to make sure that there's enough time being spent gathering this information so that when freshmen come in on the first day of school, we have everything ready and in motion for them. So that is a work in progress in terms of that. But ideally, we're going to try to have our meetings before summer. I hope that answers the question. I answered it as best I could, given that we're making some changes.
The next question is, does Shawsheen offer separate programs or classes, or is everyone in a regular classroom with a para or a one-on-one helper?
So Shawsheen, when you come to Shawsheen, you will take a placement test, which will really just sort of be a snapshot of your reading and math skills. And from that information, you are then recommended to enter into a certain level of English and math. And Sheila can speak to, I know there's a formula for, at that point, how the science and history class levels are chosen. And I think it might be based on the reading, but I don't quote me on that. So those students are then placed in a level that, through that data, we believe is recommended to be a comfortably challenging course for them. Students that have more significant, need more significant support, have the opportunity to be enrolled in courses that are considered small group, taught by a duly licensed teacher, special ed teacher, and say English or special ed and math. Those classes are considered sub-separate classes in small group. Not to be confused with, I don't want to confuse, that picture of what those courses look like with what a life skills program would look like at your home district, because we are a vocational technical program. So a life skills level program is going to be a little bit more intensive than a sub-separate academic program. But the short answer is yes, we do have a sub-separate academic track for students that need that. Did I answer the whole question, Sheila, or was there a part B to the question?
Nope, that was correct. And right. Yes, the levels of science and history are based on the reading level. You were correct. The next question is, does the school have a social skills group?
So, great question. We're in the process of actually rethinking the way we provide social skills groups. We have a licensed speech language pathologist, and we also have a licensed school adjustment counselor. And what we are looking at a model of identifying students who require social skills instruction or social skills groups, and having that service on their service delivery grid when the student requires that to access the curriculum. Prior to me arriving, I think that there is a social skills offering for students, and it's a little bit less defined. Like, students are not identified on the service delivery grid. They're sort of encouraged to stop by and join a social skills group that's offered at a particular time and day. So we are definitely recognizing that there is an increase in the need for students to gain improved social skills, and we're seeing that trend up. So the interventions need to be a little more formal So I am in the process of working with my team to build a service delivery model for social skills. So that the answer to that is we will be offering social skills groups, but it will be considered a special ed service. So it's not going to be the type of social skills group like a lunch bunch or a lunch buddy, or maybe a middle school model that you've experienced that could be less formal. It's going to be more targeted.
Okay. There are a few questions with the same theme here, so I will sum it up. How is Shop Week handled for special ed students? Is there a paraprofessional there to help? Is the shop curriculum slower paced so that students can grasp what's happening if they have disabilities, and how do they handle the IEPs?
So honestly, this is the part of the presentation where I really want to sing the praises of our vocational shop teachers. Our vocational shop teachers get a roster of students who have chosen that shop based on their performance in exploratory. And that's why it's really important for the students to know that even though they're not interested in cosmetology and they don't want to maybe do hair and nails that week, that for that 1 week, they're super excited about it and they're all about hair and nails, because what happens is if you perform well in all your exploratory areas, you're giving yourself a better opportunity in a competitive shop to earn a seat in that shop. So there is a level of competitiveness to getting into some of our shops. In terms of special education in the vocational areas, our vocational teachers are amazing at what I call differentiating instruction. And when I say that, I mean they're able to take kids of a wide range of areas of need and struggle, strengths and weaknesses, and work with those students as a large group, and through their passion and through their training, they're able to meet the needs of a wide range of students in the shop. Now, that's not to say that they don't need us to sweep in sometimes and give them some advice, help them out, support them behind the scenes with a student. I think that we try to foster an environment where students feel confident, students feel independent, and we don't typically insert ourselves as a support services department into shops in a very visible way, because it's sometimes for kids who struggle, it's an opportunity for them to really shine and be like every other kid that's around them despite their struggle. And then we support behind the scenes by giving some advice to shop teachers, or giving them a strategy to try. We do make sure that shop teachers are included in the team process when they come to team meetings. We do make sure that they are involved in they have some say and some input when the student sets some goals. They have a voice at the table. But in terms of you're talking about direct special education support in shops, that is not our model, because that model does not foster independence. And it's a model that we have great success with. So going back to what I said a few minutes ago, the goal is for students to feel comfortably challenged. But while we say comfortably challenged, we also want them to gain the confidence to be independent learners. And then if the teachers are noticing they're not being independent learners for whatever reason, they're really good about communicating with special education liaisons, student support services staff, and are really interested in forming a partnership with us to help students in shops. So that's sort of the model that we use. I don't know if I answered all the aspects of that question, Sheila.
I think you did.
Okay.
And then there's another question. Do students with IEPs get any different preference or preferential treatment for admissions?
No. The reason why I can say no is because following the civil rights laws of equal access to education, it's a totally special ed blind process, which means that parents don't have to disclose on the application that their students are on an IEP. Although it's really a misunderstanding and not true that, you know, if you identify your student as having an IEP on the application, that it hurts their chances to get into Shawsheen. That is not true at all. It's just a piece of information that help. So we really, you know, want to make sure kids don't fall through the cracks. So if parents are willing to share that information with us, it's just one more way for us to be sure that, you know, we know that every student in our building who's identified as needing an IEP is identified. So when a student applies to Shawsheen, there's no knowledge and no factors included in going through the admissions process regarding special education. Special education does not kick in to the process until after the student is accepted. Then we roll up our sleeves and our office reaches out to the districts to find out who's on an IEP, and then we make a plan to have a smooth transition of those IEPs.
Okay, and are the IEPs implemented during the placement testing?
Sheila, that I might have to defer to you for that. I'm going to guess, just from being in other vocational schools, that we do not, typically accommodations are not provided to students on their placement test, only because we want to get a snapshot of their actual skills.
So I don't mind taking that one.
Okay.
This year, the placement testing was all online because of the pandemic. But typically we have the students come in on a Saturday, and we do provide accommodations of small group,
that's
extra
great.
time, repetition. We do not allow the use of the calculator for the math test simply because we do want to see their true ability level for their math, for their calculation skills. They are allowed to have a graphic organizer for the writing assignment. They can have extra time. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that they're allowed the computer for the short open response.
Okay.
But they're given extra time, graphic organizer. People can, you know, somebody can read and clarify instructions for them. They can have, you know, many of the standard accommodations of extra, you know, breaks and, you know, noise buffers, things like that. So we do try to accommodate those to the best of our ability. Okay,
so it sounds like some test conditions accommodations, but things that would measure skills like a calculator or reading out loud are not taking place, just so we can get a true picture of their skills, right?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. And I think there's just one more question here, and I'm not sure this applies to special education, but if a student decides during their 10th grade year that the shop they've chosen is not for them, how is that dealt with? That might be more of a shop or guidance issue than a special ed issue, but if you want to, feel free to answer that. I don't know.
I mean, typically we can be, when it's a special ed student, we can be involved in that process to help make those decisions, but that is typically a decision that is handled through a collaboration of guidance and the vocational technical office. I will say that it is acceptable for students to express that they may have made a mistake in choosing their shop in the sophomore year and want to switch to a new shop area. It's important to note that that window closes fairly quickly because we want to make sure all of our students have equal access to vocational education. If they come into a shop very late, they don't get enough hours to make them eligible to go out on that co-op experience that I discussed earlier in the presentation. So we want to make sure that we're really thinking ahead about, you know, those decisions, so that if a kid chooses to leave shop and it's going to impact their ability to go on co-op, we just want to make sure we're upfront with students and families and have those transparent conversations. But there is a process that is followed for a student that is interested in the sophomore year in a different shop.
All right, I think that's it. I don't think there are any more questions.
So I know that was like a crash course of student support services, and we experienced some technical difficulties throughout that presentation. But I will say it was a pleasure to be able to share with you our potential students and families a little bit of what Shawsheen Student Support Services is all about, and a little bit about who we are and what our beliefs are. And we're very excited to have our incoming class of freshmen head towards us as we go into this application season. Highly encourage you to apply to Shawsheen Tech with an open mind and an excited spirit, and know that there's a whole team and staff of teachers and faculty at Shawsheen. Very excited to have you, and looking forward to working with the next wave of students that make Shawsheen such a great place. Without you, we don't really have a Shawsheen Tech. You are the secret ingredient that makes Shawsheen Tech a special place. So we encourage you to apply and then reach out to us with any questions that you have going forward. And we thank you for your giving up your time to join us this evening. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. This is Mrs. Lesko, and many of you know I'm in the admissions office. Any questions about special ed, please reach out to Mr. Albert, Ms. Fitzpatrick. Any questions about admissions, please reach out to me or Ms. Houston. We're going to have a couple more events coming up. We're taking a week off for Thanksgiving, but the first week of December is our road show. And the road show is what students would typically see at their middle school. So that is definitely something you want to get your students to attend, your children to attend, and check out all Shawsheen has to offer for students. So please check our website for any updates and join us for any of the live events that are coming up all the way up until February. So we'll keep you entertained on Thursday nights. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Albert. Patrick.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening.